morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you had a great morning this morning. It is Thursday morning. As always, a coffee kind of morning. Cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. This is going to be my review of Curious Ruminant, the latest album by Ian Anderson and Jethro Tull, released this month, March 7th. Really recent. I've given this one 4 listens. I'll be listening to it more because I absolutely love it. There's the inside cover. There is a small little hype sticker on here, basically saying that the 24th studio album by legendary Jethro Tull, special edition CD digipack. I chose the digipack over vinyl simply because of the cost. That's the only reason. There's a cool shot of Ian looking great at 77, I think it is. Nice booklet with this. There's a foreword telling people who's all in the band and the track listings and the length of the tracks. It's a fairly lengthy album. Tracks between 227, which is more of a verbal, a talking type of track. Beautiful track to end the album, by the way. Up to 16 minutes and 39 seconds on a track called Drink from the Same Well. And then each song is described on how they came about the song and the reason for the songs, that type of thing. So, very little photos in here. And then you got the lyrics of each track. Well written. Ian Anderson is a poet. So well spoken. I just watched a recent interview with him, I think from a Swedish journalist. So well spoken. Very, he's not very outgoing socially. He doesn't like to go to parties and things like that. So he's kind of an introvert. Completely different persona than his stage presence. He gives himself 1 or 2 days just to go travel on his own. He likes traveling by train because he doesn't get recognized all that much. Just this little old man, he says, sitting in the train. But other than that, he's on the road and working hours a day and almost 7 days a week. So it's nice to have for him to, and he doesn't have to work. I mean, I'm sure the guy is well has taken care of himself, and he's he doesn't need to work, but he loves the music. He's just an amazing guy. Seems like a cool guy to talk to. So this album, the third in recent years to be released by Ian Anderson and Jethro Tull. Way back when, back in 2003, Jethro Tull released the Christmas album, the 21st studio album, again, September 2003. They didn't come out with another album in 19 years. They came out with Zealot Gene, the 22nd album, released in 2022. And then they released Rock Flute, the 23rd album, April 21st, 2023. And of course this one here, released this month, March 7th, 2025. 3 fantastic albums within 3 years. Amazing. A different lineup than their previous Tull albums. The Christmas album was the last to feature Martin Barre, the longtime guitarist who was with the band for, I think, 34 years since their second studio album. Kind of miss his sound, but he's been away for quite a while now, doing well on his own, and I'd love to get some of his studio albums and live albums. But the bands, because every album had a different band, these 3 albums have different bands. As far as electric guitar, the main players are pretty much the same, but you miss that heavy sound of Martin Barre sometimes. But the Zealot Gene had, of course, Ian on vocals, flute, acoustic guitar, mandolin, whistle, and harmonica. You had Florian Opalhal on electric guitar, David Gaudier on bass, John O'Hara on piano, keyboards, organ, and accordion, Scott Hammond on drums, and Joe Parrish on guitar on one of the tracks. Concept album, kind of like going back to The Thick as a Brick and Songs from the Wood and Heavy Horses. It's got the Jethro Tull sound, but again, it's missing that heaviness of Martin. And the earlier strength of Ian Anderson's vocals. I know he's an older gentleman now, 77, 78. His vocals are just not the same as they were when he was a much younger man. But I love every song on this one. The more rockin' tunes don't need little louder guitars, but the folkier tracks had beautiful mandolin and Irish whistle and accordion, and makes for a great, great album. Rock flute, again, Ian Anderson on vocals, concert flute, alto flutes, Irish whistle. He did all the production and the mixing and engineering. Joe Parrish on electric guitars on this one, acoustic guitars and mandolin. David Gaudier, same bass player, on bass. John O'Hara on piano, keyboards, and Hammond organ, and same drummer, Scott Hammond. Originally, Ian wanted to make this a completely flute musical album, but he decided to change that up in our favor for sure. Make a harder-edged album with some rock and prog and folk influences on this one. It's a heavier album than the Zealot Gene. Say that 10 times fast. But again, that weaker vocals of Ian, but a great band behind him. Fantastic stuff. Out of the three, I'd say maybe this is the heaviest of the three. Not to take away from the other two by any means. So this one here. A Curious Ruminant. Pardon me. 9 fantastic tracks. 8 tracks, one spoken track. You got Ian Anderson on vocals, flute, acoustic guitar, mandolin. Again, the production, mixing, engineering. Jack Clark, an amazing guitarist on electric guitar. David Gaudier still on bass. John O'Hara still on pianos, keyboards, and accordion. Scott Hammond still on drums. You got James Duncan on drums on a couple of tracks. And Andrew Giddings on piano, keyboards, and accordion. In my opinion, and it's only my opinion, perhaps some of Tull's best work within the last 30 years. It's got a feel for their folk trilogy of the 70s. You got the Songs from Wood from 77, Heavy Horses from 78, Stormwatch from 79. There's a lot of influences from those albums on that. When It Rocks, the leads are fantastic, but there's just not enough of them. I wish there were more, but when they come in, they're tasty and great, and they just fit well into the tracks. It's a cleaner lead work than, say, a Martin Barre's lead work was, but amazing stuff. I didn't mind Ian's vocals on this one. It seems to blend well within the tracks, unlike the other two albums. I thought his vocals sounded beautifully, actually. And the tracks themselves blend and work well together as well. There's no fillers in here. Some of the highlights, I'm not going to go through every track, but some of the highlights, you got the opening track of Puppet and the Puppet Master. Starts off with this beautiful piano piece, and it kicks into a great heavy folk rocker. Lots of flutes, piano, and accordion melodies. There's 3 solos are shared, first on guitar and then on flute and then on organ. It's a great track. Great track. Then you got the Tipu House. It's uplifting and melodic. Awesome mandolin and flute and accordion on this one as well. They really use accordion on a lot of these tracks. Stygian Hand, full of flute and mandolin. It's a piece of folk rock. Kind of fits in maybe to Roots and Branches back in the day. You got Drink from the Same Well, maybe one of the best off the album. It's a 16-minute and a half opus. Anderson in the booklet says it's some of his best flute playing he's ever recorded. And then it ends with Interim Sleep. It's a poem read over music about lost loved ones, riding on a train, that type of thing. It shows off how well spoken Ian is as a poet as well as a musician. I love all the instruments on this album. I love how they're used well together. They all have their chance to shine. There's just not enough leads on this one. I wish there were more lead work on this one, but when the leads happen, it happens really nice. It's a fabulous record. 9 tracks. None of them feel like fillers, as I said earlier. They stand out. Every musician has its own chance to shine. Maybe one of the best of 2025. I'm not sure. We will have to see because it's still early in the year. But I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. I think it's fantastic. If you don't know this one, some of his best work in quite a while. It really, as good as these 2 albums are, this one kind of just speaks to me more, for sure. But there you have it, guys. There's my look at Curious Ruminant. Let me know what you feel or what you think about this album. If you have it or you're thinking about getting it, let me know. Take care. Love you all. We'll talk again soon. Bye now.